This is the Martini Mortgage Podcast with Kevin Martini.
Hello, this is Kevin Martini, and thank you for tuning in to the Martini Mortgage Podcast. This is episode 5, and this episode is all about 3 tips for making a first-time home purchase go smoothly. When my wife, Ronnie, and I purchased our first home, when we purchased our second home, and well, every time we purchased a home or an investment property for that matter, we had a ton of emotions. We had excitement, but we also had uncertainty too. I believe, and you may too, buying real estate is a big thing. However, the stress is relieved when there is clarity, and clarity creates certainty. So, with that being said, let's dive into the Martini Factor 3 tips for making a first-time home purchase go smoothly. Tip number 1. Now, tip number 1, in my opinion, and in the opinion of experts, is to get pre-approved. Now, let me go on a quick tangent for a moment. There is a material difference between being pre-qualified and pre-approved. When one is pre-approved with the Martini Mortgage Group at Benchmark Mortgage, they are able to make a same-as-cash offer when they find the right home. When you are pre-qualified, you are telling a seller that you are ready, you are willing, and believe you can buy. However, when you are pre-approved with the Martini Mortgage Group at Benchmark Mortgage, and either Alex, Logan, Brad, or myself say you have an MBA, this stands for Martini Buyer Able, you are to tell a seller that you're not just ready and willing, but you are able. You see, if you're thinking of buying a home and are ready and willing, that is nice but irrelevant. You can search properties online, and maybe a real estate professional will put you in the car and you will preview homes. I believe this is malpractice on the side of the real estate agent. Simply put, with this strategy, you're looking homes that you may or may not be in your budget. And what happens if the home you fall in love with is the home that you cannot afford? Can you imagine that pain? Buying a home and securing a mortgage is a big thing. It's a big thing whether you're buying your first home or your second home or your third home, or regardless how many times you purchase a home. Having price and cost clarity is required, and it's also required to communicate to a seller that you are able, not just ready and willing. At the Martini Mortgage Group, which is located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we serve families all over the great state of North Carolina. We have a proprietary 4-step process that provides clarity and assures that you know before you owe. And it assures a stress-free, on-time closing with amazing mortgage home loan rates while providing not just a world-class experience, but also mortgage management post-closing. Some people buy a home based on price point. However, I believe you should buy a home based on your personal budget. I've said it before on the Martini Mortgage Podcast. Just because you can afford a Ferrari, it does not mean you want to pay for a Ferrari. Know before you owe, and know your options before you start looking. Need help? Alex, Logan, Brad, and I are here to serve. And we have hearts of a servant. Simply call the Martini Mortgage Group at 919-238-4934. Now, tip number 2. I believe it is the duty, the responsibility, and obligation of a real estate professional to set expectations for the entire transaction as early as possible. This is exactly what my real estate partners do, and I work with them because they do it. If you would like to be introduced to a professional that has a servant heart and does not have commission breath, then give me a call and I will make a personal introduction. Can a realtor be found online? Yes, they can. Can a realtor be referred to you by a family member or friend? Yes, they can. But if you want one that truly knows about the local market and the local conditions and has a gift for what they do, then give me a jingle and I will make a priceless introduction based on where you want to call home and based on whether you're a first-time home buyer or a repeat home buyer.
1, 2, 3.
Martini Factor tip number 3.
3.
There is no substitute for education, especially when buying a home. Education should start before you find the right place to call home. I believe a true real estate professional should go over the offer to purchase agreement with you during your first meeting. Yes, go over the legal document that you will use when you find a home and you will use to make an offer. It's simply just makes sense to me. In North Carolina, the North Carolina offer to purchase and contract is used when purchasing real estate in North Carolina. It's currently 12 pages and has recently been revised. It is my opinion, the first time you see the offer to purchase should not be right after you found the right place to call home and you have to get an offer in within 15 minutes. My real estate partners I work with will explain all the terms to you. They highlight any of the time-sensitive elements of the offer to purchase. They share the contractual timelines. Again, if you'd like an introduction to one of my real estate partners, just let me know. Before I talk about due diligence and inspections, let's take a quick break.
You're listening to the Martini Mortgage Podcast. Powerful information to help simplify and effectively explain the process of buying a home and securing a mortgage. Because it's not just a house, it's a home.
Welcome back. This is Kevin Martini, and you're listening to the Martini Mortgage Podcast. Now, I'm an amazing mortgage lender, and Alex, Logan, and Brad are very gifted at what they do too. And we are not real estate professionals, nor are we lawyers. However, we've been in the real estate rodeo for a while. So let me share my understanding of a unique concept called due diligence. There are 3 aspects to the due diligence clause in the North Carolina offer to purchase, and they are the due diligence period of time, the due diligence process, and the due diligence fee. Why is this important? Simply put, a true real estate professional needs to explain the purpose and the timing of inspections, in my opinion. Many people, not just first-time home buyers, believe that a seller is obligated to repair every item in their home inspector's findings. It is my understanding this is not the case because in North Carolina, the offer to purchase is an as-is contract. Now, of course, you as a buyer can ask for any repairs that you would like the seller to complete, but the seller is not obligated to do any of them. Did you know that?
Did you know?
If you did not know that, you should. And that is why the real estate agent you select is so critical. That is why the lender you select is so very critical. So let me share a very quick summary. Martini Factor tip number 1.
1.
Do not just be ready and willing. You need to be ready, willing, and able. Martini Factor tip number 2.
2.
Understand the expectations and timelines of the process. Martini Factor tip number 3.
3.
Know the provisions. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your time to listen to episode 5 of the Martini Mortgage Podcast. 3 tips for making a first-time home purchase go smoothly. The Martini Mortgage Group at Benchmark Mortgage makes real estate dreams a reality, and our family is your family lender. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you in advance for sharing a 5-star review on iTunes. Until next time, remember, it's not about how big the house is. It's about how happy the home is.
Thanks for listening to the Martini Mortgage Podcast with mortgage strategist Kevin Martini. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Martini Group and check out our website at martinimortgagegroup.com. Tune in next week for another episode of the Martini Mortgage Podcast.